Welcome to Silver Springs Organics, a commercial composting facility located in Rainier, Washington. My name is Kris Adair. I'm the site manager here. Today we'll take you on a tour to show you the process of a raw feedstock and then a marketable product. And we'll take you through the entire process and show you how it's all broken down and how that process all works. So this is our receiving area for commercial and residential yard waste. It's all pre-ground from other facilities in Thurston County and Pierce County. They truck it to us in this form, and then we process it throughout our facility. This pad here is a tipping floor, and this is all controlled by a fan group behind me, behind this push wall. It's on positive air only. So it's initially a lot of oxygen introduced into the product to get it jump started and create the heating process. As it flows through, you'll be able to see how it's moved backwards in that stage with the use of a row turner. In this, you can probably spot small amounts of contaminants. People don't realize that they shouldn't put in their yard waste bins compostable material bags or forks or serviceware. Our processes here, I have the lengthiest process, 45 days from beginning to end. So that's why we do not accept a compostable servicewares or bags or that sort of thing, because it doesn't break down correctly in our process. And walking across the tipping floor, you'll feel the air hitting your legs. This entire length is all underfloor aeration, the entire length of this building right here in stage 1. And on top of the piles, there's 2 temperature probes per zone. So there's 7 zones throughout this side and a matching 7 zones on the other side. And each one of those zones is sending a signal of temperature to a computer that tells the fans if they need to go into a positive aeration or a negative aeration if it's too hot or too cold. So as you can see, it's a 6-foot tall probe that sinks down into the pile, and there's a sensor on the very bottom of it and the very top of it, just under the handle. That signal is maintained to the fan groups when there's a difference in that temperature range that's too great, too less, either way, and it will tell the fans to either more air positive, more air negative, to balance those temperatures out, to keep the pile in an even temperature range. And that carries through all zones. Each one is individual. So the whole thing is like a wave of temperature sensors throughout the whole process. So behind me, you can see our process water pond. This is all rainwater collected from the roof. And this area here, it's 3 million gallons. We don't use water from the river or an aquifer or a well. This is all 100% self-contained. And that's the only water we use that we put on our piles during production. And then I'll show you here in a minute our process water that goes into tanks. That is a contaminated water that we introduce only in a very specific section of the process. So behind me is a process water tanks. They call it process water because on the stage 1 floor, when it goes into a drain cycle, the moisture is pulled down through subfloor into a containment and piping, and then is pumped directly into these tanks. As we showed you before, so that water at the pond, the water that comes from that roof, 5 acres, 1 inch of rain equates to about 125,000 gallons directly into our retention pond. This here is a very minimal use. We can blend fresh water and processed water if we want to, but we use the fresh water through the entire process, and we can blend this on the early stages only. So here we are at the 15-day end, and this is a pack-out zone. And you can see the material behind me, how far it comes out. Normally this would extend right here. This is zone 7, and that is being pulled over across from us into a curing area, stage 2. This area here, you can see how much it's steaming. It's a more uniform look. It doesn't have the greens and all that. This has all been broken down. So now this will go to curing side, and then we have a machine that will now go into these piles and disrupt it and kind of agitate it, and it shifts it over one full zone, 21 feet. It's a side discharge row turner. And then it will take that entire length and bring it all this way, 21 feet. And then the process will start all over again. All right, I'll take you guys down this way to the stage 2 curing area. And you'll see the path we follow from a pack out from stage 1 to a stage 2. And then you'll see how the piles are laid out and then the flow of the material to the back. So this is the beginning of our stage 2 curing. So when the material is packed out from stage 1, it will come across this area, and then you'll see individual zones behind me on the push walls. There's 14 zones across this section. So the 15 days will come this way. It will sit here in this side of curing for an additional 15 days. And at the end of that, then it will be flipped to the far side of curing, where it'll sit for an additional 15 days for a total time of 45. Then it is a screenable cured product that can be taken and sold to market or to our customers that want to come and pick it up. So looking inside their push walls, this is where all of the ducting, all the airflow, up above it is all the ductwork that would vent all the negative air out to the biofilters from this entire side of stage 2. And so right here is a set of the comp dogs that are laid out, and once air is put to them, it'll be a great big long balloon. And then when they take the material on this side, at 30 days, they will then transfer that over here, lay it on the dogs, and then from there, once that's done, you'll see behind me is a screen plant. It's a multi-deck star screening deck, and that's what we use to process our material at the end to separate a fine, a coarse, and then an overs, hog fuel they call it, is just that waste that won't break down, it's too big, or it's a material that is not what we want in the system. So behind me is the pile of overs. This is the material after screening that is the large debris that can't break down, and there's not much of it. It's a third of the product that we process through the system would end up right here. And then over here you'll see the fines. This is the highest market value. This is the end. So when you've seen it in the beginning, when it came in very green, very rough looking. So after the 45-day process, you'll see it's much darker, has a higher moisture content, it's a uniform color, and the particle sizes are much smaller. All the material is broken down and then runs through the screen plant, and then this is what you end up with. And you can see the particle sizes are pretty small, and this time of the year a lot more moisture content to it, and through the process, that's why it's so important for us to have all the automated systems and the best operating practices to keep odor control down, to keep moisture correct, the air volumes correct, to where our end product is what our market is happy with. And the residentials also will come in and pick up the finished product that we produce from their own materials, and they really enjoy it. They like to see it and be a part of it. We do a lot of donations around our local communities to help, whether it be the schools, county parks. We've donated all over, Boys and Girls Club, We're very active in our community and really appreciate all the folks around here who have helped us really thrive in this area, and we hope to continue to produce a great product that's 100% organic, no risk, no contaminants. So that's our main goal, is produce something that we can all use and create together and be a part of. And so, thank you for stopping by, checking us out, and we appreciate your time here today. Hopefully this is some educational for you and something to look forward to, and to come back and please come try out the product. Come down and get a load of compost and try it home in your garden. We'd really appreciate it.